What's going on YouTube? This is ShadowFox4562 here.
And Neo Dark Guy.
Alright, bring you that profile today. What are we profiling today?
Bujins, of course.
Alright, let's go ahead and start whenever you want.
Well, of course, if you're playing a deck that everybody loves to hate, you need 3 of the boss monster. Bujin Yamato.
The castle.
Yes. Gotta protect the castle.
Castle.
It does everything in the deck. It's like, it can even julienne fries. I love them. It's so good. And then, if we're going to protect the castle, we need a castle defender, which is Mikazuchi. Okay. 3 of these as well. I know some people like to play 2, but I feel like if I don't open up Yamato, Mikazuchi's the next best thing. Because, of course, you can drop Mikazuchi's, with other Mikazuchis. If Yamato dies, you can drop a Mikazuchi. You can drop a Crane and plus off of this. This gets you Bujin Carnation and some other cards too, so I really like it. Continuing with the Bujin Beast Warrior roundup, we got 1 Arasuda. Combos really well with Hirame, which is the next card I'm about to show y'all. And it goes into Exceed plays a lot because I kind of use Hirame and Arasuda to make Exceeds so I can still have my normal summon. So, that being said, here's a 2 Hirame.
Okay.
She special summons herself, so it gives me Exceed options, and if my normal summon is disrupted, I can banish. She feels Bujin Carnation, so I don't have to hair willy-nilly to make my Bujin Carnations live. She's also can be dropped on us, and the few times that it actually goes off, she has a secondary effect that says if you have to discard a card, your opponent must discard a card. So that's pretty neat to abuse sometimes when it actually goes off. Double hair, because again, castle protection.
Yep.
They can't get the Yamato, you're going to be playing the duel for a pretty long time, and hair helps out that. And including hair, you have Turtle that says anti-targeting, and even with the new errata, I think Turtle is still pretty good. And in some cases, it's just as well as hair, if not better, because you got like Felgrands that you need to get your effects off, and other cards that try to disrupt the Bujins. 1 Quillen for problem face-up cards like Catastor, Armides, which is kind of a bitch against this deck. What else? Phoenix Chains if you need to slide those off. Quillen takes care of all those quite easily. Honest, Signal, Triple Crane. This is the battle phase control portion of this deck. These protect Yamato and all the other Beast Warriors. These protect anything in the deck. And Signal is an easy neg-1 from the deck to where if Yamato is not doing anything or profiting from me, I can just take him out, put him in there, give my opponent a little bit more to think about.
Okay, so why do you play the Signal? Like, what's the main reason? Because I know a lot of people don't play him.
Yeah, a lot of people don't play Signal, but after Yamato already gets you the Crane when you pitch the Turtle or Hair, or gets the Mikazuchi, I want to do more with my Yamato because sometimes I always don't exceed with him. So I put Signal in the deck so I can just go ahead and neg 1 when I need to. Also, it helps Yamato out when I'm out of Cranes or I don't have a Crane in hand, and I am protecting him and Vanity's Emptiness. All I have to do is just banish that from grave. Vanity stays up, the monster goes. It also is a nice little hit to damage because that 900 from Yamato or 1200 from Susanoo is just like a nice little poke at the life points as well.
Gotcha.
So yeah. He hasn't failed me once, so I changed it. Now we're at the spell portions of this deck. The broken card, Bujin Carnation. This card's really good. Even back when people were running it at 1 or so, I was running it at 3, but then I cut it down to 2 because it kind of clogged a little bit.
Mm-hmm, right.
But yeah, I'm actually, for the upcoming format, I'm thinking about putting it back up to 3 because recycling all the Bujin Beast to put them back in the graveyard to get a free Susanoo or a free Tsukuyomi or a free whatever, pretty good. I really like that card. Triple Tanky. You activate it, you get plus 100, and then you get a search. Pretty elementary that you run that in the deck.
Right.
If it's at 2, you run it at 2. If it's at 3, you run it at 3. Unfortunately, it went back up to 3, so They're running 3. Double Typhoon. Like, fends off traps. Like, people really like to run Fiendish Chain, Vanity's Emptiness, other stuff. So MST says, nope, stop that. Like,
why you mentioned Vanity's Emptiness? Why did you mention that when your deck doesn't really special summon that much?
Because it's always, if I have the option to go into Susanoo, I'm going to take it. Gotcha. I mean, Susanoo lets me mill. I mean, it lets me Foolish from deck. It lets me add. It hits everything on the field, so everybody else attacks directly.
Right.
I really think Susanoo is a kind of underutilized card in Bujins, but, you know, Susanoo is just a bigger Yamato, so, hey, if I have Yamato, I'm going to play him, but if I have Susanoo, I'm going to run with that as well.
Right.
1 Book of Moon, because Book of Moon's at 1, and I really think it's a fantastic card. Sometimes it also doubles as, like, battle phase control, and other times it says, hey, don't exceed, don't synchro. So, yeah, stops opponents too. So, hey, running it. Double Dress. I actually was running 1 Torrent and Triple Lance up until Hat Tricks came along. Deck gave me a little bit of trouble at first, but after I remember that Dress says I can't be targeted or I can't be destroyed, it kind of helps out there. Helps out against Lightsworn, helps out against Mortal Tech, which a lot of people hate that card too. And any other random card that like causes destruction, like Bottomless, Tornal Tribute. I rather blow the Dress as opposed to the Lance because Lance is way more important, especially during my opponent's turn. So that's why I run Double Dress. And speaking of Lance, there that is. I mean, end phase, hold this in hand, protect your Yamato from a breakthrough skill or a Fiendish Chain. You can actually play this on your turn to drop Yamato down to 1,000, and when they're coming in, you can just drop Crane, and then, you know, it resets the attack point, so Yamato's back at 18, and then he can't be affected by spells and traps. So this is a pretty good card in my estimation in Bujins. Onto the traps. 1 compulsory evacuation device. Yeah, it says, hey, spells, I mean not spells, exceeds, synchros, any problematic monster, just go away, go back to the hand, do something there, just not on the field, please. Double breakthrough skill. If anyone has faced any good Evilsaur player, they would know that Dolka's a bitch. So if Dolka's on a trap card, I'm running Dolka. I mean, he's up there breaking through the card, so like that helps out. And it has like utility to where you can activate it on your turn, and I don't have to waste a Quillen or any other problem cards on like a Caster or a Cataster or anything else, or Nephilim that's going to come out in the future. So breakthrough skill is going to help out with that. 1 Solemn Warning. That's just like, yeah. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, same reason, you know. Stops a lot of stuff. 2 Bujin Sword Regalias. The card I always get commented on when I run this deck. It says get Yamato back to hand, but more importantly than that, it says get anything else back from your graveyard to your hand. Like, say Yamato's going to get swung over, you can get back a Crane if you need to. You can also get back a Mikazuchi, so you can drop that right after that if somebody plays Dark Hole or random spell, Trap Destruction. You can also put a turtle back into the graveyard or a hare, so you can re-trigger those as well in tight situations. I've been playing this at 3 when it first came out in Judgment of the Light, and I dropped it back down to 2. Hasn't done me wrong yet, considering I can also search off Mikazuchi. That also gives Mikazuchi more stuff to do in the deck. So, can't go wrong with Bujin Sword Regalia. And let's see. And of course, Double Emptiness.
Yeah,
because yeah.
Alright, on to the extra deck.
On to the extra deck. My favorite card right now in this deck. Bujin Te Susanoo. The 2 Ultras and the 1 Odd Man Ultimate. Bujin Te Susanoo does what Bujin Yamato does, but on steroids. He puts 1 in the grave for you, he puts 1 in your hand if you need it, he attacks everything so everybody else can get in and get their damage on the opponent. Some people run him at 2, but sometimes that's just not enough. Like, I just want to keep on wailing in on you and just like have him as a threat on the field. So Susanoo is just staying in there. One Bujin Kagasuchi. I don't use Kagasuchi as much as I do because I kind of don't want to mill out of my deck just randomly. But the blanket protection he provides and the fact that...
We're at 10 right now.
All right. And the fact that, you know, he protects everybody is also good. Double Tsukiyomi. Tsukiyomi, he gets around like stuff like Impulse, Bottomless and that stuff, and I can get back to Bujin Beast Warriors. I also draw when my hand doesn't look that well, so yeah. Bujin Amaterasu, just for OTK potential. That's really. And plus, it's like the first Ghost I had in a while, so. Starleech Paladynamo, Problem Solver. Diamond Direwolf, Problem Solver. Although, I'm going to switch him out for Castle when it comes out in the next set. Maestro, just to help me live a little bit longer if I need to, if Kagasuchi's not available. Gaga Cowboy, Game Stealer. Black Ship of Corn, just a nice little like problem to get around hands and stuff like that. If you need a spot to be removed and you need to avoid destruction, he does that, plus burns for 1,000, so yeah, that's pretty good. Rhapsody and Berserk, it is a soul release that you can equip to another Exceed material, and then that Seed monster beats. So Rhapsody and Berserk is pretty good. 101 Shark Knight, Problem Solver, and Ragnar Zero, mainly for the mirror match or Fire Fist.
Now, what would you take out if you had an Exciton Knight? Because I know you don't have one. So.
Yeah, I know. If I had an Exciton Knight, I would probably take out the Ragnar Zero. Because Ragnar Zero really doesn't do anything for me outside the mirror match. So just Ragnar Zero would have to go.
Okay, and do you have a side deck for this?
Not a completed one, no.
Okay. All right. Well, any comments on the deck? Anything that you think it lacks, or anything like about their matchups? What's your best? What's your worst?
My best matchups have been like stuff that relies on special summoning or just trying to beat my face in because of the cranes and the one Sinyao and the Honest. I really feel confident that you can't get over me in a battle phase. So just that. My bad matchups is a lot of decks like that can activate their effects, most of their good effects in main phase 1, like Sylvans or Madolches. Those are pretty bad, and Bujins really can't protect that well in main phase 1, aside from like Lance and Harry. So.
All right, thanks, bro. All right, guys, this has been Shadow Fox 4562 signing out.